All right. Good morning, Flagler County. This is Danielle Anderson, your host of Lifeline, the radio show connecting you to positivity in our community. And we have Gary Lubai, the founder of the Palm Coast Songwriters Festival, in the studio this morning.
Good afternoon or good morning, whatever, wherever it is or whatever it is that.
Yeah, we let the secret out. We record on Tuesdays, and then you guys get to hear it on Saturdays. So it's always a pleasure. If you want a sneak peek, you can take a look at the video that's over on WNZF's Facebook page, and kind of see what's coming up for the weekend. But it's been is it 7 years now you've been doing this?
Yeah, we started in 2018 with really just 9 hit songwriters, and this year we'll have 48, 49. We had a couple of swap outs last week, but all the big ones are lined up. So,
and I have to say, like, every time I interview these folks, they talk about how good they get treated when they come to Palm Coast. How good of a job you and your team do, and I'm just like, that's got to be really impressive because they go to some major cities.
Yeah, they do, and I mean they do these all over the country, and several of them now they even allow us to quote them and use it in some of our advertising. They call us essentially the best songwriters festival in the country.
They do, and I mean I've heard them actually say that, and I was like, really? And he's like Gary does awesome, and I'm just like, wow, that's super cool. He likes
well,
you guys.
it's like you said, there's a team, and I got to give a lot of credit to the team that helps with all that, and also I mean places like a lot of our vendors like Hammock Beach Resort,
oh gosh,
which we're a big customer to them now, and not only with the songwriter nights that they stay there that we pay for, but also with the people that buy tickets, or even some of our sponsors who end up staying there that come in from out of town, because we have some out of town sponsors along with a lot of our local sponsors.
So that's kind of like the preferred venue when they come.
Yeah. I mean, we always let them know about others too. If always tell them about the other hotels and other options and all that kind of stuff. But several of them like to be over there because then they also get to take in the Hammock Beach Resort show too.
Oh, that's right, because that's kind of
a limited. Yeah, that's a limited show to the members of Hammock Beach Resort and the guests that are staying there.
So we're going to backtrack for you guys in case you don't know and you haven't ever been to the Songwriters Festival. Tell them a little bit about how it got started, because it's a really cool story.
Well, thanks.
And your background too.
Yeah. Well, I'm a banker by trade.
Who likes music?
Retired, but I'm also a guitar player and love music. And even as a child, I would look at the center of an album, and I always remember on my Monkees albums how Carole King wrote a bunch of their songs, and Neil Diamond wrote "I'm a Believer," and you look at that and I don't know why I realized it, and then I had a 6th grade teacher who taught us to listen to the words of songs. And so I guess that stuck with me, growing up and on into my adulthood. And then, ended up moving to Nashville area back in 96 with a job promotion in my banking career, and was in that area for 6 years. And while I was there, I got to know Tom Shepard and got to understand the songwriting community even more too, as well. And I was a consumer market exec for Bank of America and Nations Bank at that time, and one of our offices actually was on Music Row.
Wow, that's
and
cool.
So I got to really get the flavor of it. And Tom, during that time frame, had written "Riding with Private Malone" and "Redneck Yacht Club" and great songs like that. So he was really, I had "Redneck Yacht Club" on a demo CD when I left Nashville to go to Charlotte from Tom. And that was before Craig Morgan had even heard it. And so it was really an interesting experience. And then as we went back there in years prior, or subsequent to that, I should say, 2007, 2008, 2012, we went to Tin Pan South. And I came back from Tin Pan South in 2012, and I thought that would be a great event to have here, obviously on a much smaller scale, because Tin Pan South in Nashville is like 300 plus songwriters, because they all live there, or most of them live there. And so we ended up, I would talk about it with with David Ayers here at the radio station or John Walsh at the Observer, and they look at me like I had two heads on my shoulder and all that. But in 2017, we had a event at Canopy Walk where my wife and I lived for a long time and loved Canopy Walk for 16 years. We lived there, and we invited Tom and his wife Coley to perform at Canopy Walk, and I invited David and invited John, and all of a sudden it was like the light bulbs went on for them, and so they started to understand what a songwriter event could potentially look like. And I joke with David. I said I'm still teaching him, but today, but no, I mean he was just a great supporter from the get go, as was John, and really we launched it with Tom's help. He got us 9 hit songwriters, including himself and Coley, back in 2018, and we kicked off the first one, and it was completely free at that point. We just needed to get people to come out, and I think the show at the amphitheater had maybe 150 people there.
It's still really cool.
But it was a neat event, and people were like, geez. And then some of the people that are on our committee today are from that first weekend, like Dr. Steve Davidson and Greg Feldman and some others that got involved with us. And Jamie Akins is another one that's on our committee, and he heads up all the volunteer coordination for the event. So we kicked it off with that, and really from there, it just kind of became those songwriters that came told other songwriters, and then those writers told other writers, and so on, to the point where, we went from 9 to 14, had COVID in 20, and we even had a YouTube channel in 2020 and did basically a virtual songwriter festival with songwriters taking videos of themselves at home and performing their songs. And then in 21, we did it with COVID seating and all that kind of stuff. And I look back on it now and think, oh my gosh, why did we have to do that? But at the time, it was what you had to do to get it going. And people were amazed that we did it. And then, from there, it's just, continued to blossom. We went into the 30s with numbers of songwriters, and now we're in the 40s last year and this year. And that's probably, that's our sweet spot. And we're probably going a little higher this year because we're going to do that special kickoff show to celebrate the renovations of the Daytona State Amphitheater at Palm Coast campus. And because they're really just about now wrapping up the renovations over there, which are really going to be exciting. It's going to allow, including our sponsored tables, probably the ability to seat up to 700 people under cover and another 200 to 300 people on the lawn.
That's really good.
Yeah. So, and the statement that the outside wall will make is so much more prominent now. And it's, we're even going to have a restroom instead of porta potties for the writers now in the green room.
Oh, moving up in the world.
Yeah, they're going to have their own restroom. But yeah, it's really exciting that we've been able to, but also to the level of talent. I mean, the songwriters that tell other people about it, it's the way they describe it is it's wall-to-wall hits. It's wall-to-wall hit songwriters, and it's everybody's got, just about everybody has at least one or two number one hits. Some have double-digit hits, and then you got somebody like Jeffrey Steele who has over 85 top 10 hits. And
it's just incredible.
Yeah, so you look at that and the level of talent. You won't know the names of most of these writers, but their level of talent, and actually we got several that people come up to me afterward and go, why doesn't that person have their own record deal? And it's because they would rather go to their mailbox to pick up their paycheck, as the saying goes, versus going out on the road and all that. But we've got people like Chris DiStefano, who is a lights out show. I mean, he just blows people away every year that Chris DiStefano comes here now. And he was hesitant to even commit to me a few years ago, and now he just loves us. And he's one of our quotes in the American Songwriter magazine ad, And then, Wendell Mobley, we're going to have the Warren brothers here. Some of them have been recording artists before, like the Warren brothers and Jeffrey Steele and Anthony Smith. They've been, and Jesse Alexander. I'm not sure if she was a recording artist, but she was up for a Grammy this year for overall Songwriter of the Year. So, and she's going to be playing with the Warren brothers, who are Red Solo Cup, plus about seven or eight other number one hits. And the Warren brothers, from what I understand, are actually part comedy show along with the songwriting too. I've been told that your stomach will hurt after you see them.
Are you excited by like being able to get these kind of people here?
Yeah, that's the short answer. I'm sometimes I'm amazed that we've come this far this fast, and I've been saying that for the last 3 or 4 years. And really and truly, the hardest part for me now is, who do I not bring back because you become friends? Like in the last couple of years, we had Dina Carter here with
I was just thinking about her.
Yeah, and but also you got to keep it fresh. Of course, I don't know if we could have got Dina this year because she's out touring with Blake Shelton right now.
Oh my gosh!
And he's able to pay her a lot more money than what we can do. But we had Daryl Worley the last couple of years, hoping to bring him back in the future. But again, you gotta kind of cycle some of this.
Because the stories are fresh, right? Like new stories.
Yeah, and some of the writers do a really good job of changing up their story. Like Tyler Reeve has told the story about In Case You Didn't Know with Brett Young. I don't know how many times. And each time it's a little different. It's got a little different twist. It'll have certain components of it about him being drunk in Key West and missing his plane. But then there'll be other pieces that he'll let mix into it, about watching his feet go one flip-flop after another and trying to concentrate on walking.
So you really get to enjoy the story in a new way.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, we also try to kind of shift some of them, either the night that they perform or the venue that they perform at. We'll shift some of that up, like Casey Beathard this year and Tucker, his son. They're going to be playing at the Hammock Beach Resort Show, where last few years they played at since they've been here, they've been playing at the amphitheater. We've got some other new artists that are coming to us, songwriters that have hits, but you've never heard of again. Jacob Davis, who is Jordan Davis's brother, and he wrote Tucson Too Late with his brother. He also wrote the song that Kane Brown's got on the radio that really connects with me, because my daughter, when she was really little, we used to go to McDonald's on Saturday mornings, and it's called Backseat Driver is the name of the song. And but it talks about him taking his daughter to Mickey D's, but Kane wasn't even a writer on that song. Oh. Jacob Davis was, with another guy, I think Jordan Walker is the other writer on that, who's not coming here, but Jacob will be. And
how do you think this lets people, because we hear a song on the radio and we hear it's Blake Shelton, and we naturally assume that Blake Shelton wrote this song about his life, something he must have gone through. And how do you think this lets people see there's a whole nother dimension to
I
music?
get that every year. I'll have people, probably the slowest group of people to get to understand it are the locals. We get people from California, Texas, New York, Tennessee, Georgia, all of the Carolinas. We get all those places. The locals have been in incremental numbers each year. We get more and more locals too. So it's about a 50-50 split. So it's good for tourism, and it also gives our locals something. But I'll get it every year. I'll get people come up to me after a show and they'll go, I had no idea. One, how talented they are, and two, that Tim McGraw didn't write that song or George Strait didn't write that song. I always thought the person singing it wrote it.
Yeah.
And that's natural, though. Unless you're a geek like me about songwriting, and I'm not a songwriter myself, but I love music and pay attention to that kind of stuff. Most people don't. But that's the beauty of it, though, too, because then there is an enlightenment aspect to this that makes them enjoy it even more. And then when you throw in like I said, some of these shows where the artist Jeffrey Steele's up there playing his butt off and just blowing people away. And he's meshing his songs with Led Zeppelin and
Oh my
and
gosh.
some of these other people. The way he can go at it on a guitar, him and Anthony Smith. And then you got Ira Dean, who's playing again this year. He used to be in Trick Pony, and Ira actually right now is the bass player for Brooks and Dunn,
Wow.
and on 40 tour stops this year. And so Ira's literally flying in Sunday morning to perform at our festival off of the Brooks and Dunn. He's playing in Austin, Texas the night before with Brooks and Dunn.
That's got to make you proud. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, he loves our festival.
That
I mean,
is so
absolutely loves it. I mean, he talks about it. We got a great video. I think I might have sent that to you. And if I didn't, let me know and I will.
I have to check. You
yeah.
have some great footage of these concerts. But we're going to take a quick break and we're going to talk about there's also a charity side to what you guys do.
Yes.
And there are a number of really great charities that benefit from the people coming out. So we're going to do that. We'll be right back. All right. It's still running, though.
Good.
Hope you guys are
that's
having fun.
okay. 'Cause I know I'm kind of revved up right now.
No, wait, I love it. And it's so funny because your wife is always like, he talks about it 365.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
cool,
much. Yeah.
Are you ready, Mark? All right, so we're back with Gary Lubai, and we're on the trail of the Songwriters Festival here in Palm Coast, and talk a little bit about the charity components, especially the new kickoff this year.
Yeah, we're a 501c3, and one of the things that I knew when we started this, and maybe it's some of my banker background, I knew we had to build a good financial base for our organization as a whole. But then also, I always wanted this to be something that would allow us to give back to other nonprofits and use it as a fundraising tool as well. And so this year, like I said earlier, we're going to celebrate the renovations of the Daytona State Palm Coast Amphitheater,
Which is a hidden gem all of its own.
which is a hidden gem. And if you haven't been out there, most people don't see it because it's nestled in behind the woods at Colbert and Palm Coast Parkway. But what we're going to do also that night is a portion of the ticket proceeds are going to go to the Flagler County Education Foundation for scholarships to Daytona State.
That's awesome.
So the more tickets we sell, the more we can give them.
It's not sold out yet, is it?
No, it's not. Yeah, we've got several hundred tickets left.
And you're going to have some great folks there, right?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, we're going to have recording artist Michael Ray, who's originally from Eustis, Florida.
Wow.
And Michael is going to be. He has 4 top 10 hits of his own as a recording artist. Plus, he's a songwriter as well. He didn't write some of those hits, but he's also written on some others. And then on top of that, he's going to be with Josh Phillips, who wrote Dirt Cheap for Cody Johnson, all by himself. So he's got a good royalty stream. He's not sharing that with anybody. And then, but Josh also has some hits with Luke Combs and stuff like that. And then you got with them will be Brock Berryhill. And Brock and Josh are the ones that helped me get Michael Ray here. Well, Brock helped me get Josh, and then Brock and Josh helped me get Michael Ray. And Brock's become a huge fan of ours. Brock's got hits like Homesick and Good As You with Kane Brown, and What Happens in a Small Town Stays in a Small Town with Brantley Gilbert, Me, You, and the Whiskey with Justin Moore. So he's got several number one
Big
hits.
names.
And but also that night we're going to have Win Barble, he's another comedian / songwriter. He's funny as all heck. And then you got him with Matt Alderman, who's written hits with Dylan Scott and Brett Young and number ones with them and several other people. So, and then we're going to have on top of that night, we're going to have Karen Staley, who wrote Keeper of the Stars with Tracy Bird, and also Take Me As I Am, and I forget the other song title, but she's got 2 number ones with Faith Hill.
Wow.
And then with Karen is going to be Ashley Estevez.
Oh, our local
who is from our
hometown
area,
girl.
our local girl, but also spending a lot of time in Nashville and is really becoming a great songwriter. And what's really been cool, my wife was sharing with me that Karen and Ashley now are communicating with each other.
Oh, great.
On social media. talking about each other and raving about each other and looking forward to playing with, together.
So Ashley got her start in Palm Coast, and she's going to blow up.
Yeah, and a kind of a sidebar to that is Win Varble and Matt Alderman will go down the next day and be with the students at Daytona State's Mike Curb School of Music, Art, and Entertainment. And what they're going to do is, they end up, we always send 2 writers down there every year. And what they do is they do 2 or 3 of their own songs and tell the stories behind them. And then they just do Q&A with the students.
I love that.
So that's another feature. But then also the other parts of the, when you talk about charities, we also raise funds for the Gold Star Mentors Foundation, which one of our writers, Brett Jones, wrote, If Heaven Wasn't So Far Away. And that was about his brother who lost his life in Vietnam when Brett was 10 years old, and Brett took up the guitar as a coping mechanism. And now Brett raises money through that foundation to help children or other loved ones related to people that died in service or unfortunately committed suicide.
Yeah.
He gets a guitar for them, and then they give him lessons. And so they do that. And then in addition to that, we also have the Early Learning Coalition, Dolly Parton Imagination Library. we get all the songwriters that come here. They autograph a guitar, and then we raffle it off, and then we give all the proceeds from that raffle to the Early Learning Coalition. And and then of course we've got Daytona State College Foundation that we will contribute a minimum this year of $6,000 to them. And then the last one, but not the least, but that we've added to is Neighbor to Family organization.
I love them.
Yeah, they're out of Daytona. And Jamie Akins, the guy that I mentioned earlier that heads up our volunteer coordination, Jamie is their executive director for that organization. And so to support Jamie and his organization, we thought we ought to add them to the list of, we now have 5 organizations that we help raise money for, directly, contribute to go along with Flagler County Education Foundation. So that's the other part that I'm probably more excited about than anything in terms of really being able to make this a vehicle to help raise money for other organizations.
And those organizations are great, like Neighbor to Family, keeping siblings in foster care together.
Yeah.
That's just such a unique thing to do in that situation. So, I mean, you're doing some really amazing stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, really. I mean, just it's so much more than just a music festival,
Yeah. And it's for anybody that hasn't gone to it before, all I say is try it one night. And my recommendation would be try it Wednesday night. It'll go to a good cause, but also too, you'll probably end up wanting to come back out for others.
It'll change your life.
Well, it'll make you open your eyes and also make you want to, come out to possibly go out to other shows too.
So, I mean, when you really got this started, did you ever envision that it could be something like this? Or what were your hopes?
My hope is within 10 years, it would be pretty close to where we are now, and have been really the last year or two. I thought it would take us 10 years to get there. I never thought we'd get there this fast.
It's been an incredible watching it just grow every year. So, really quick, wrap it up. Tell us Wednesday all through the show, where can people find it? And
well, for all the shows and all that, PalmCoastSongwritersFestival.com. Go there. You can buy your tickets. Some of our shows, most of our shows are ticketed, and all the shows at the amphitheater are ticketed. We do have a free show from 11 o'clock until 2 o'clock on Thursday, May 1st at Hammock Grill at JT's. Used to be JT's Seafood Shack. We do have that free show. There we'll have 6 hit writers performing.
You have to play hooky from work, though, if you want to go to that show.
Yeah, or be retired.
Or retired.
Yeah. And then, but Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night and Sunday afternoon, early evening, will be at the amphitheater. And also the Bloody Mary Bash, brunch bash is on Saturday, but that's sold out already.
It sold out like immediately, didn't it? Pretty
Within
close?
about 30 days, yeah. Oh, it came close to selling out. Yeah, it sells out pretty quick. And, because you got seating is about 120 people for it.
But if people want, they can pick up a multi-day pass, right?
Yeah, they can get a 4-day pass for the May 1 to May 4th shows. The April 30th kickoff show is a separate ticketed show.
Okay.
But yeah, May 1 to May 4th. The 4-day passes are really a great deal. And the nice thing, too, is because you're paying $175 plus taxes and fees, whereas if you're buying a single-day ticket, you're paying $55 a day. So you really end up saving
A lot.
over $50, really, if you want to go all 4 days. But also, too, the nice thing with a 4-day pass is, let's say you can't go a day or two. You can hand those off to a friend or a
nice.
client or, somebody else, that and all that kind of stuff. And just you utilize the tickets each day, but you get a break on the cost and all that.
So save some money, pick up a 4-day pass, share it with your friends. Everything works out.
Yeah, we only have about 60 something 4-day passes now left as of today, which is March 18th.
So what's the date of the show? And give us that
dates of the show, April 30th to May 4th are the festival dates. And April 30th is the big kickoff and celebration.
And what's the website?
Website, palmcoastsongwritersfestival.com.
All right. We're looking forward to seeing it. Really excited for you. Thanks for coming in.
Great. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we want to thank WNZF News Radio, Flagler News Weekly, Massage by Natalie and Company, the Vigilante Philanthropists, and our local Benjamin Moore paint store right here in Palm Coast. And we'll see you guys next weekend. Bye.